Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Welcome to my secondary channel, the number one grind of real talk. I got another chopper for y'all. I told you I'm gonna bring him back. That's the one and only, one of the founders of the International Black Summit. My brother Glen Greenidge from New York. Like I'm from New York, he's from Queens, New York. Boom, and he gonna talk about his business. We gonna get in some things. And he's gonna ask me questions about me when I'm doing it. He goes, "This is a chopper." So what's what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna hit you with this intro, and we gonna get this going. So I'm gonna hit you. Let me see. I'm gonna hit you with some New York. After this, we Welcome, welcome, welcome.
All right, my brother. How you doing?
I'm fine. Welcome, welcome. Let me read this out first. Just just remember us as the righteous ones. We are still winners. That's the real, the number one grinder. Let me set this thing up real nice for the family. Shout out to Community Solutions Pro number one and my brother Jay Bones. Thanks for coming. Very much appreciated. Let's see what else. We're gonna throw on some music. I feel like throwing on some music for the brother. I'm gonna throw on some music for the brother. Mm. I want you to check this. I want you to check this beat out.
All right.
Like that. I'm doing something else. You hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, you like that beat? Or I can go to another beat now.
No, that's good. That's good.
Okay. All right, we're gonna cut this down a little bit. Cut this down a little bit. Okay, again, welcome to my channel, my secondary channel, the number one grinder real talk. We got the one and only one of the founders of the International Black Summit, brother Glen Greenidge from New York. And thank you, brother, for coming back. Appreciate you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I wouldn't say that I'm one of the founders, but I was definitely at the first International Black Summit in 1991.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I was one of the representatives from New York. And how they got a hold of me was they said, well, this is Cap Glen in New York. Let's send it to him to let the people know in New York what's happening, to invite them to the International Black Summit. So in that respect, they found me to find the folks in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, the tri-state area. So, that's how that came into being. And I'm very proud to have been the person who invited folks from New York to the first summit event.
Cool. Well, I know we was talking about certain things on the man's panel, this past week,
right?
And we cannot really get into it because it was a great conversation with a man. I want you to go pull up this the underrated men's talk. Pull it up. You see us as men finding solutions. Us as men is building. That's what it's all about. So why I bring back brother Glen, because we gonna go digging more how we met. He gonna tell you some things, and brother Glen, I want you to ask him some questions too, because this is a chopper too.
Okay, all right.
And so this is what I'm saying, that he gonna go in like somewhat depth in the International Black Summit, because we talking in the summit language. So try to be respectful of the conversation. Matter of fact, before we continue, brother, hit us with the declaration, please.
Certainly. This was a declaration that was formulated by the 120 people of Black African descent that were at the first event. And it was designed and created by the people in the room on Saturday, after we had all met in different groups and wanted to create a conversation, a mission, a charter for why we were there and what we were up to. And so some brothers, so the big room gave some ideas. Then there was a after meeting later that after the session, the general session was closed. And there were probably about 30 or 40 people at that event, and they kind of hung out there and dwindled down to maybe about 10 or 15 in the first hour. And then the next hour or two, it whittled down to about 5 or 6 brothers, and they took it overnight and compiled all the different conversations that we were about as people of Black African descent, and presented it the next day to the full 120 people. Now, here's what I want you to know: the 120 people didn't know each other. We didn't know the people in the room. I knew the 7 or 8 other people from New York, but I didn't know necessarily there were folks there from Chicago, there was folks there from California, there's folks there from Texas, there were folks there from Kenya. So we had a real international flavor. So this is what got created. This is the Declaration of the International Black Summit. We declare ourselves, our community, and all communities whole and complete. There is nothing to do except be. We assert that we are responsible for generating community as possibility and distinction. We listen for and grant being to the possibility and creation of unpredictable results. Our conversation of, about, and for those of African descent is one of power, self-generation, abundance, responsibility, unity, and integrity with the possibility of being. We stand for the expression of our spirituality, ending the murders of our men, women, and children, building economies responsible for funding our community, maintaining wellness of being in our bodies, providing human services, establishing nurturing relationships, altering the conversation of who we are in the media, empowering our youth. We declare that our community manifests itself in the world as a contribution in the transformation of the universe. Atlanta, Georgia, October 7th, 1991. Back to you, JT.
Above, below, east, south, west. This is February 6, 2022. You think I didn't remember that? Ha.
All right. I got it.
Moments of silence, please. That's good. That's the ending of the declaration. That's how we do it.
And why we do it that way is that creates a clearing for us. That gives us a ground of being. That gives us a place to come from when we start our conversations, so that we are grounded in the declaration and producing the things that are being said or being addressed in the declaration, because we're declaring it to be what we say it is.
And also, tell me if I'm right or wrong. The internet, I mean, what it means to me, okay? See, Glen knows what I'm talking about. So understand this one. What it means to me right now in this space right now, when I'm in, I want to identify with the ancestors. We got to make sure we keep the ancestors part of the vision, part of this conversation. That's what it means to me right now.
Yeah,
it's many variations of the conversation, but it got to come from personal. It got to come from you got to develop your own space. That's how I'm just going to leave it just like that.
Absolutely, and that's great, because that's really, we ask that people look inside the declaration and see where they find themselves. Find out which part that they wrote, because there are different parts in there, and there's a part that each and every one of us wrote. So we invite you to look to see what that is and where that is for you as we continue this conversation.
Great. So now we're going to switch up. How do I met Brother Greenidge? It was, well, I have a cousin named Renee. They was together. And me and Renee, we always been tight, but we always talk about issues of our people. And she knows there was an outlet that I want to get into to help our people more, because the outlets that I was in before did not identify my space, so to speak. So what happened was, this is when I was with the ex in New York. You know, rest in peace. I'm just gonna leave it like that. And she introduced me she called him and talked to Brother Greenidge. And he was telling me more about it, and I was intrigued of the conversation. At that time, I did not know that it has let's say that an African organic grasp on my life at that time. And he was telling me about the history and stuff. So that's when we was on Blog Talk. And he gave me the number, and I called, and I became addicted to the conversation because I see myself involving. There are triggers. There is something that was moving in my life at the moment that had to bring clarification of my Afrocentric. And that's what the International Black Summit at that time, at the beginning stages of the conversation, came to. So rapidly, we got so good at it. That's when Glen introduced me to Kasia, Clara,
And Henrietta.
Jill came in later. And
Right.
So these three women, despite my background, had brought me in with Glen. So understand that these women had embraced me. They had nurtured me as a brother. And they gave me the tools too to help enhance my life to be part of the conversation of the International Black Summit. Now, when I'm talking about they protect me, they protect me. When I need them 24/7, they were there 24/7. So they're three always going to be part of my life. Later on, Jill too. I got to put Jill. Jill be part of it too. So
Yeah, but Jerry, I gotta say this: you were ready to expand where you were in life. You was hungry for a change. You were looking to get to the next level. And so when I introduced you to this conversation through your cousin, you saw it for yourself and you went for it. And you developed yourself with our help and guidance. But I want you to know and be clear that it was you who generated yourself. You know, it talks about generating unpredictable
self-generation, right.
And we use what they call distinctions. So there's a little, self-generation is one of the distinctions.
Right.
Trigger is another one. And we use these distinctions to keep us on track. Because oftentimes we'll get off track. We'll get, let me use trigger, for example. So somebody might say something and I'm gone. I'm out the conversation. I'm in a whole nother space. I had to stop listening because something that was said reminded me of something that happened to me in life. It might have been trauma. It might have been a bad experience. It might have been, whatever it is. And trigger can be a good thing too. But trigger took me out the conversation. So I wasn't present to what the person was saying. And so when you're not present, you can't impact the other person. And so that's the International Black Summit is about listening. listening deeply so that the other person is heard, is understood, and there's a space provided them to do what they want to do. And brother JT here, we got his listening, and he heard something for himself inside of the conversation that got him turned on and empowered and self-generated himself to what to take on being a public speaker on Sunday night at, what was it, 8 o'clock Sunday night for about at least 2 years. It might have been longer than that, brother.
It's going a little over 3 years.
It was about 3 years. And he was on the line, Blog Talk Radio, our show. He was on it every Sunday. Okay. You talk about dedication. You talk about commitment. And we were having the conversations, and he taught himself and learned, and gotten a deeper commitment to what this International Black Summit was. And I'm going to tell you, everybody that's inside the International Black Summit has a different experience. So when JT talks about his experience and I talk about mine, that ain't what you're going to get. You're going to have your own experience of empowerment and self-generation and discovering aspects of yourself that you might not have been aware of or present to. And it's all about listening and being present.
And that's part of the International Black Summit that I know people, that's what I learned when I say this, Glenn. I said, make sure you pay attention, you develop that authentic listening.
Yes.
Where do you think I got that from, y'all?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So that's what the International Black Summit had taught me, to sharpen my authentic listening to the conversation. It's what I get of that spirit. That's my spirit. That's what I get. But it all comes in form of the conversation. Like the brother was saying, that your experience is your experience. That's how it is. But at the same time, there is a process that you have to be in the conversation of International Black Summit, because this conversation is not for everybody.
That's true.
So I mean, it's not harsh. It's not for everybody. There's a lot of work. There's a lot of transformation that you have to let the conversation, be in your life. See, that's what I took on too. I had to let the conversation come. I had to let it involve in me. And so that's why I became the part of the raw talk that Glenn was talking about.
So let me say this.
Okay.
Let me distinguish change versus transformation. Because what we're talking about is transforming. So you can change up and you can, I could grow a mustache, or I could grow a beard, or whatever. And that's a change. What we're talking about is from a caterpillar to a butterfly. That's transformation. And the transformation occurs inside of me, inside of you, inside of Jerry, inside of the participants inside of this conversation. Because we begin to see things about ourselves that we had no idea even existed. Let me give you an example. So for me, I would be in a meeting, and my background is computer science. So you're always meeting with the users, and I was a developer. I'd write programs and applications and so on and so forth. And different things would come up in the meeting, and I would know the answer to it, but I was afraid to raise my hand and speak in the space. So what I would do is I'd go meet whoever asked the question after the meeting was over and share with them the answer to the problem that they were dealing with. out of this conversation, I no longer have that issue. I feel confident. I feel worthy. I feel that I can offer solutions in a way that people can hear it and actually take it and run with it. And that's all training that I developed inside of myself. Now, when I started out, I didn't know I could do that. That didn't even seem like it was possible for me. But I had the willingness to go deeper and to look to see what was possible. And inside of that conversation, it propelled me outward. And now I'm doing this show with JT. We did the Blog Talk Radio for over 10 years. I now have another radio show called Hour of Power. And we invite different business people on and talk about their business and how they're impacting the community. I'm now an executive director for a business improvement district that has about 80 businesses in it that I take care of the businesses. So I communicate with the businesses. I communicate with the agencies, the New York City agencies. I promote, market, and take care of those kinds of conversations, the board of directors, so on and so forth. So I don't know that I'd be where I am unless I transformed my way of speaking and my way of being. So that's an example that I wanted to share with people.
Yeah. And go and tell people that what I accomplished in International Black Summit. Oh, you want me to say?
No. Let me speak.
Okay.
Let me speak to it, because one of the things that I saw about Jerry was his willingness to learn, and his willingness to be humble, and what the thing that I know about Jerry, when we first had the conversation, he was intrigued. He definitely could see himself doing it, but wasn't sure what it was going to take to do it. But he took it upon himself and generated and got rid of all that fear and all that conversation of, I'm from the streets, they ain't gonna listen to me, whatever, all those different conversations. And it was like, you know what? It don't matter, because I'm committed to the community. And given his commitment to the community, he broke through whatever he needed to break through to be confident, to be self-expressed, to be clear, and to develop his listening skills so that he could hear and be with the different conversations that we had. Because we didn't know who was going to be there from week to week. Sometimes we got some people that, I ain't going to call them crazy, but I'll say that they had a different kind of opinion than I did necessarily. And they come on the show and they challenge you, and they, and you got to be cool. You can't go off on them or whatever, but you listen from where they're coming from, and then you respond, and then you let them know that they got heard. And Jerry did that on his own. In fact, I'm gonna tell a little story on you, Jerry.
Oh no.
One of the things, I don't know if you've ever shared this, but Jerry was in this relationship that was, that wasn't working for him.
I talk a little bit about it, but not in the language you told me. You can go ahead though.
Yeah. And Jerry would say to me, man, this ain't working. I need to do something different. And Jerry had the courage. Let me tell you something. The courage to say, you know what? I'm out. I'm packed my stuff, and I'm moving to Virginia. Okay? Boom. just like that. Said, you know, enough is enough. I want a better life for myself. And he moved himself to Virginia. Didn't know what he was going to get there. You know, didn't know what it was going to take. But he knew that where he wasn't where he wanted to be. And let me tell you something. I see a lot of people that in relationships and marriages and what have you for 20 and 30 years, unhappy the whole time and are afraid to get out. They're like frozen. And I got to say, my man Jerry over here did what he needed to do and got out of it and said, you know what? This ain't working for me. I see it. I'm out. And created a whole new life for himself. So y'all may not have heard that story before, but
they heard, like, they didn't break it down. I broke it down that I had to leave, but the way I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't break it down like that. Not like that. No.
You know, so that's courage. That's courage. That's courage. You know, and I got to give the brother, you know, kudos.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And let me put this out there. It wasn't really from my older brother Mark that took me in. I got to give props to him when he was married at the time. He remarried now, but he took me in. And let me tell you this story too. When I explained to Brother Glen, y'all got to understand at that time, I was going to college at the time.
Yeah.
That day I was going through my final. As a matter of fact, I was supposed to meet up with Glen to celebrate, do my final, because the last finals I was doing, I was going to pass anyway. I was supposed to meet up with him, technically, in Queens to celebrate. But what happened was June 1st, 2012, that's when I'm talking about the conversation again. You gotta pay attention what you in at that moment. You gotta pay attention what is saying to you at that moment. And at that moment it said, no, hell no. Wherever God leads me, wherever this, see, Glen knows what I'm talking about, because now I'm going to talk into some language now. So you're not going to understand. When you're in the process, when you do the, you know what I'm talking about. There's quite few stances I had to take. There's quite few triggers I had to deal with, answers I had to deal with, but I had to stay true to this. And so it was a hurtful thing. Hold on for 1 second. I'll be right back. Hold on.
That's my brother, do or die. You know, when they talk about taking people to war with you, that's a brother that I want in the trenches with me. I want y'all to know that, okay? This brother is real. This brother ain't nothing fake about him. He a true brother, and he loves his community. He mad loves his community, okay? And he's committed to making a difference in everybody's life. His life, your life, and the people in your lives, okay? And this ain't nothing that he ain't heard from me before. This is a real man that took control of his life, didn't make up any excuses. Because see, part of International Black Summit is about taking responsibility. You don't like your life? Change it. You don't like something aspect, what you gonna do about it? It's your life, not somebody else's. Are you willing to take responsibility? Are you willing to do what it takes to change what you've been doing? You know, all of that is about what's up. And sometimes it ain't pretty. You know, we talk about it like, I don't know if any of y'all know how you make sausages, but it's a messy thing. There's stuff all over the wall. There's all on the floor, whatever. We get this nice little package thing that's tight on each end, and that's what a sausage looks like, and that's the end result. And so what you're seeing here is a brother that went through all of that stuff, and he's now the sausage that you get in the store, nice and cleaned up, and so forth.
I'm real clean. Oh yeah, they're gonna work on my house a little bit. Don't worry about it. Is that this is the hey, we in this. Oh, the original hustle bunny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and let me before I continue. We was I attended a prerequisite with a sister named Clara House, right? She was with a she was married. She was married. He passed. What his name again? His first name?
They call him Black Love.
Black Love, right?
Black Love.
While I was on my way with prerequisite on the train. He laughing. I'm gonna tell you, this conversation is in effect. We was talking, just basically. So these ladies was looking. And it was like they was paying attention to the conversation. Now the International Black Summit, this conversation comes in many variations. It doesn't mean it have to be about Africa. It doesn't mean about that. But the spirit of it, people was taken from the heat. And then so I witnessed myself, brother, they hearing the conversation. I said, how are you talking about? Remember I told you? Pay attention. They was like this. Yeah. They seemed like they didn't want to get off the train. They was like this, yeah. So it does happen and everything. But what you were saying, Glen, when I was away and everything?
Well, I just tell them that it takes courage, that it takes perseverance, and this conversation is really about, about the community, and we are the community. We're representatives of the community. We're the people that says gonna make it happen, and then go out there and make it happen. And I was telling them, you was one of them brothers for me,
Now,
and if I was going to the trenches, that's who I wanted with me.
Appreciate that. Yeah, and then also before we continue, the brother, he was so given. I was actually attending the meetings of important people of New York, business people that you heard on TV. I am actually was in the meetings. They was developing programs around. So with what he into right now, executive when he developing business in Queens, I was in the meetings with years ago. They was talking about back then. I was in the meeting. I was like taking notes. They was asking me what the, I was I was like part of this something back then. They said, Mr. Thomas, what you think we should do? And I didn't live in Queens. I was a resident of Brooklyn. But again, they was moving things even back then. And I want to thank the brothers and sisters in Queens to acknowledge my leadership, to acknowledge my well-being. And that means I was looking forward to come too. It was actually he. That's matter of fact, brother Glen, right? He introduced me to important people. They said, "I heard you." I said, "We ain't heard me. They hear you on the radio." You know what I'm saying? So understand here. Go. So salute to you, Tom Malone, and tell people before we go ask questions, because ask the people, tell the people, because you remember you was telling me that brother, you facilitating the conversation.
Yeah.
I don't have the title. I mean, how I do it. So he broke it down to me. Now explain people, about that conversation.
Yeah. So
That's
I told you about the brother being on these calls every week,
uh-huh.
and what we're doing is we talk about the International Black Summit, and we talk about different aspects, and something may come up, something may trigger, and trigger can be a good or a bad thing. So it doesn't not necessarily be a bad thing, because sometimes the trigger you takes you to a good place.
Mm-hmm.
But the point is that brother was there, and the rest of us were all facilitators. So what is a facilitator? A facilitator. Well, let me back up. Let me back up. So the summit doesn't tell you what to do. This is not. We're not going to say, no, Jerry, do this or do that, or you should do. No, we ain't about that. You got to hear and do for yourself. So as a facilitator, basically, you have to get your personal stuff out the way. Somebody talking about divorce or something, and went through, and I went through a bad divorce. It's not about me. Oh yeah, no, it's not. It's not about that. It's about listening to hear where they're coming from, and then offer up some of the tools that we call distinctions inside the International Black Summit. And these tools are a way of us finding out about ourselves, distinguishing ourselves inside of these, what we call distinctions. And so there's noticing, there's know out there, there's trigger, no right way to be. All of these are distinctions that we use, as I said earlier, to keep ourselves on track. And so Jerry was on these calls, and he would bring up, yeah, I was triggered about that, and this set me off in this direction. And you talk about noticing, I noticed something about myself inside the conversation. So Jerry was facilitating the conversation without, quote unquote, the title of attending the facilitator body, because we have a group of people who are trained facilitators. But that's what I was talking about. Jerry trained himself inside of these calls on Sunday so that he could deliver the conversation of the International Black Summit as a facilitator. And a facilitator, as I said, is not telling you what to do. They're listening, they're offering, they're sharing. That's another distinction inside of the summit: sharing yourself, sharing a perspective, looking at, what you can contribute to the conversation. Because as a facilitator, you're not going to share anything that's not going to forward the conversation. This ain't about just talking. This is about how you impact people's lives. And you'll hear Jerry talk about that from time to time, impacting people's lives, because that's what makes a difference. That's how you empower people. You make a difference in their lives such that after the conversation, they're in a different place. They have a new opening, a new possibility, a new way of being that will have them see something for their, inside of their life that they hadn't seen before. So, it's all of that. And Jerry was facilitating the conversation, and was very proud to hear that he was. And when he realized that that's what he was doing, and empowered him even further to be out there and to speak his mind and to say what was going on. Back to you, Jerry.
And also too, while Brother Glen was talking about this, right? Now all of them at the time were facilitators.
Yeah.
I was the only one. I was facilitating the work, but I didn't have the title for it because I had the prerequisite. Now the main prerequisite, that's the summit. That's the summit that every since 1991. That's every year the first week of August. That's usually like 5 goes to 5 August 5 to 8, and so that's when I got further training of facilitation of the conversation, because I was facilitating already. There was the Glen, it was another named Lashard and Henrietta and Circassia, because they was facilitators. They was extreme facilitators. So they cannot be they cannot be in every share one more time. So they used to call me. We want you to share, talk about the share. And then sometimes they just hold the share down. Then when they come, then I was saying. So really, I was starting off share. I was doing this. I didn't have it even before I attended my first summit. I was.
As Jerry was saying, he was already in the conversation, deeply in the conversation, before he had attended the prerequisite or the annual event that takes place every year. And so, of course, when he got there, he was head and shoulders above a lot of the other newbies because he'd been engaged in the conversation on a weekly basis. And we had training sessions and we had off-site retreats and all that as well. And he participated with all those things. So it was we were all very excited and encouraged when Jerry actually did do the Baltimore Summit and got so much more out of it, even than that he had already gotten being part of the radio show, Blog Talk Radio.
And see, what Brother Glen was talking about, like remember we was talking about the process. There's a process you have to go through. Learn the summit language. You got to attend the summit. You got to know the language and stuff. As for me, I ain't mean to brag or nothing. I was ahead, but there were some more stages that I have to learn of facilitating this conversation. So for me, Glen used to check on me. One of the ones that helped me shown was Henrietta. Y'all will see Henrietta and Circassia, and even Circassia. So when I was in this room, that was it for me. It was like graduation for me. It was a matter of time, like go get my PhD or, because it was easy. It was easy for me because I engaged in it. I wanted to put myself into it. So when I was like talking to some language to the facilitators, even back then, that Glen was part of it. What he was saying, they was like, about time. So you MVP, right? You self-generating this. I said, yeah. So when the team that Brother Glen was talking about with Clara, Henrietta, Circassia, and even Jill, they were so happy for me because what I had to overcome, because I didn't let the hood define me. It was a big deal to me. It was a big deal to me because I was there with my African family. I belong. Okay? I gave speech. I gave a speech at Baltimore, 2010. I self-generating me into this conversation. Even though I was going through problems, but when you be part of something, when you be, she stay asleep as always. Thank you. Yo, bro, that's another Brooklyn brother right there. She stay sleep. You talk to a New York brother. He's from Queens. So that for me to be part of that, I was part of greatness. I was part of a global African family of each, but each person's space is different. But be on Blog Talk with these great minds. I help create certain things in the meetings too. Like when we was talking about different things of the conversation. I was coming up with, I was in charge of coming up with, some history stuff, and combined with it, that was my bringing of it. Well, of course, you got to have a meeting with it, talk about it. And they was like, so I was coming up, I was like developing things that I guess they're using it right now, and that I'm proud of, that I was part of it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. We're still using that aspect of it.
Wow, wow, wow.
So,
So,
in
go
fact,
ahead.
tonight we're looking at the summer share at 7 o'clock tonight, and we're looking at the the railroad, the Underground Railroad, international conversation, because we all are aware of the Underground Railroad that took place here in North America, but there were Underground Railroads all over the world. People escaping from slavery and escaping from bondage. And so we're going to, as part of Black History Month, we're going to be exploring that. The last Sunday in February, we're going to be exploring what do we want to envision for the Black culture in 2122, 100 years out. So we engage in these kinds of conversations and look to see, hey, what's possible? Hey, what's available?
Yeah. And so now we gonna get to questions. Now, tell people, we didn't really get to how we really met. Did we?
Yeah, with through your cousin.
Okay, through a cousin and everything like this. So so ever since me and Glen met, we became brothers like this, and we still brothers like this. So I know people wanted to say, why are you having attendance to the summit? Things happen and stuff like that. But the summit, when you go to one summit, it stays with you.
Right.
It stays with you.
Well, that's why I say it's not about change. It's because you can change stuff, but when you transform, it never leaves you. It really never leaves you. And these are principles that you can use in everyday life. So we talk about it inside the International Black Summit, but it's something that you can use at the office. You can use at church. You can use in your community. You can use in your family life. These tools and distinctions are available. And here's the thing. All they are ways of keeping you present so that you can hear and do authentic listening. So you have the ability to be in the conversation fully, so you can listen what the person is saying and what life is saying inside of that conversation. See, that whole weekend that we do, we don't have no book. We don't have no diagram of how the space is going to go. We listen the space and allow the space to direct us inside of the conversation. Because who we are as people of Black African descent, we're spiritual people. And so we deal with spirit. And so it's not about, so we listen what's in the room, and we have that guide the direction of the conversation. So we may be in one area and jump to a whole nother area because that's what's in the space. It's not because I want to do something or Jerry wants to do something or somebody else wants to do something. It's what's in the space that determines the next conversation, and then the next conversation, and then the next conversation. So we're moment to moment to moment, listening and living our lives inside of that. And the truth about it is the past doesn't matter, or neither does the future. All we have is now. And so we be present to the now, and life will take care of itself.
And see, I understand how this conversation is, bro, because I want to get into the only going to talk about the business and stuff with you in right now. You see how he got excited, the conference that I accomplished the International Black Summit. I never told you that, did I? Because it wasn't about me. It's about helping others. See, at that time, that's I always been like, I mean, before the International Black Summit, I always been like this anyway. But the International Black helped enhance it for me. It was a stamp of my space. It was an eternal stamp that can still help others. It was an eternal stamp of standing up for what's right. And to understand that the ones come before us, to give them acknowledgement that we gotta still have the footsteps to walk in, so they can so we can understand that come from them. But at the same time, that was their journey, and it's still our journey. But the flight of the International Black Summit still the same. But at the same time, you gotta develop your own space. You gotta develop your own well-being. You gotta develop your own distinctions that is going to be playing eternal in your life.
Yep, you're right about
that's the key.
You're right about that.
And embrace it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So we're gonna get back and going and stuff. How long you could be here, bro?
Probably another 20 minutes.
Okay, another 20 minutes. Now, within 50, well, I said like this. Any questions that you want to ask about Brother Glen or International Black Summit or me, whatever, you can put it in the chat right now because we're gonna keep on talking. So welcome to my channel, the number one, my secondary channel, the number one grinder real talk. This is yours truly, the number one grinder. One of the best kept secrets on YouTube, the best of the business. I'm with my fellow brother / International Black Summit.
Yes, sir.
You know, right here in this piece. I told y'all before I'm coming. I told you last year. I told you I'm gonna come. I told you I'm gonna bring the conversation. Told you that. So that's what I'm happy to y'all, the ones who've been here and everything. And let me say this, that She Stay Sleep that you see in the chat, brother. He been rolling with me a long time. Stand up, brother. Brother Nehemiah Israel is a stand-up brother. You know, She Stay Sleep is New York like we are. Nehemiah Israel. Oh, yeah. Let me tell you, Nehemiah Israel is from Chicago.
Chicago.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, matter of fact, Nehemiah Israel, let me ask you a question. Do you know of a young lady named Henrietta Bird?
He might know as Reverend Henrietta Bird.
That's right. Reverend Henrietta Bird. Yeah. Well, if you do, I know her too. Ask her if she know MVP. She can tell you something. I tell you, I didn't never knew my name the MVP wrote. See now people were like, oh, you sure? No, it's self-generated. Like I'm saying, you gotta partake in the space. You gotta do the prerequisites. When you do the prerequisites, you know what me and Glen talk about. So then you know Glen, when he said certain things, I was like this. Cause I know. But you know it in my Israel. Yeah, it's Reverend Henrietta Bird, but she's here around. But So, brother Glenn, now let's talk about your business. Oh, like again, anybody that has questions, put it in the chat. I mean, because he said he got 20 minutes, and anyway, I want to close out anyway, so I can keep eye on him on, fix my dog on place. But anyway,
Absolutely.
get that fucking shit right. Put my foot up in your mom there. But anyway, I'm triggered. I'm getting triggered, so I gotta. Be. Okay. All right. So, but put the questions in there, please, y'all. And thank y'all for being here. Now, tell people about your business, bro.
Well, what I do, I have a lot of fingers in a lot of different pies.
Okay.
I work with the businesses I said before, and I promote. I created this event, a street fair called the Harvest Festival.
Yeah.
We bring out about 10,000 people to that event on an annual basis. We only had about 7,000 last year because of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
But 7,000 is 7,000, and we have performances. We have all kinds of live music, jazz, gospel, new age, electronic music.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had this year we had Eric the reptile guy, so we had reptile demonstrations. But we've had the black cowboys come out one year, so that the children could understand and see that they were actually black cowboys. Because the truth be told, a little known secret, there wasn't never no white cowboys. There was always blacks and Mexicans. Because think about it. They couldn't handle being out in the sun 8 hours a day without no suntan lotion. They ain't had no suntan lotion back then. So it was, so we brought out the black cowboys to let people know who they are and how they get. We had the classic cars out this past year. Brothers with mint cars come out, and that's a festival for a family. It got the bouncy houses and all kinds of foods and crafts and good stuff. So that's that's just one event that we do one day in a week when we shut down the busy street on Sutton Boulevard. There's about 6 bus lanes that go through there. We shut that whole sucker down for about 4 blocks and have them rerouted and just have a good time. We had the summertime jazz. So we do jazz in front of the courthouse. And we have a jazz band once a week on a Thursday. They play at lunchtime. And we got some of the local cats to come out and play. Then we're doing something called the Air Train Jazz Festival, which is indoors. The Air Train is a monorail that goes from Kennedy Airport to downtown Jamaica, where the Jamaica station for the Long Island Railroad is. And so we would go there from October to the end of May. Every Thursday we'd have a concert, and these are free concerts to the public. So this ain't nobody paying for none of this. And we had it on YouTube and Facebook Live, as well as people coming through there on a weekly basis to check out, and of course all of the shopkeepers and whatnot are happy to see that because we bring in businesses to the area. We have, so we do a lot of different events. So that's just what I do at the Business Improvement District. So then I wear another hat called Community Board. And so that's a local community board. And that's the meeting I took Jerry to meet some of the politicians. And some of the folks who own businesses and different people from the community that are up to making things happen and, finding out about what the city is doing to our neighborhood, all that kind of stuff. So it's a place to get information and to make sure that the community knows what's going on. So I ran a couple committees in there, Economic Development Committee and the Land Use Committee. And then I'm also I'm actually the board of directors for Joseph P. Adalba Family Health Center. So I did that as well, and I'm actually the board chair for that particular board of directors. So I got, I got a few things that I keep myself busy with, in addition to taking care. My mom. My mom is 95 years old.
God bless.
Thank you. I do the cooking for her, and we live in a family house. So there's 3 apartments. So I live in one of the small apartments upstairs. My 2 nephews live in the back apartment on the 2nd floor, and then my mom and my sister live on the 1st floor. So we share in her health care and taking care of her. And
Black owned.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And then I was telling you earlier that I had a radio show, the Hour of Power.
Do you have the links, brother? You can put those in.
It's WGJS.
Okay.
Radio.com. So people can get a hold of us that. So we got a radio show and a radio station that we launched. We launched. It will be about a year, and we do a show. I'm a co-host with one of the other owners, and then so it's 3 owners. So it's myself, Pauline Swift, and Joseph Swift, her son, who's the producer. So the 3 of us have this radio station. We're plugged in. We've got about 5 different shows that we broadcast, as well as run the music for the radio show. So we started that about a year ago. So I'm busy. I'm busy.
Good. Just trust me. It's not easy to keep up with this man. He actually called me because usually I know he's busy. So he called me. He said, "Yeah, I still want to do this." So thank him. Because I thought I was going to. I probably hook up with him next week. Because I was going to do it next week. But he said he want to do it. So there he is. He's a busy man.
See, that's my commitment to Jerry. Jerry, listen, like I said earlier, Jerry is one of the people in my life that I appreciate and that I seen his growth through this conversation. And I love who he's about. He's about his business. He's about his community. And he's about empowering and making a difference in people's lives. And he'll say that. I'm sure you've heard him say that. But that ain't just talk. That's real talk. That's who the brother is. And so he said I want you to come on the show. I said, of course, I'll do that. Because normally today's my day of rest where I just kind of chill and recoup and get my energy up for the week. But I said, no, this is my brother. Because I actually facilitate the conversation tonight at the International Black Summit Share. That's every Sunday night at 7 p.m.
You guys send me the link to that so I could pass it out. I want to be part of that too.
Right.
Don't leave me out.
Yeah. Absolutely. So I'll send you all those links. I'll send you in your text, okay?
Definitely. And near my Israel big brother, he said, are they with the organization that's y'all co-own?
What, the International Black Summit?
Yeah.
It's owned by the individuals who attend. It's not.
I think he said convenient. I think convenient. I think.
Say it again.
I think he said, "Are they with the organization that's y'all? Is it convenient or converted, something like that?"
No, we don't. Well,
no. I know, no, we don't. Yeah.
You talking about religion? We ain't religious. We're not non-denominational. We got Christians, we got Muslims, we got Baha'i, we got you name it. Wherever people of Black African descent have going on, they're up in the space. I think we even got Hebrew and some other folks up in there as well. So we're not a religious organization. We're about empowerment. We're about supporting people of Black African descent, empowering their lives, empowering their communities, empowering their businesses.
Mm.
like that.
Mm.
So I hope that answers that question.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. So let me ask you a question. Is there any change of the conversation that we need to know, even including myself?
Well, we did something very interesting last year,
Okay.
that we hadn't done before, and of course, because of the pandemic,
Mm.
we were all virtual. But one of the
Right.
things, normally we pick a city, and we kind of highlight that city.
Right.
So last year, what we did is we didn't pick a city; we picked the ancestors, and we asked the ancestors to be part of the conversation, and
Mm.
that thing opened us up to a whole new level.
Yeah.
So the declaration for this year is: when I allow space, I become present to who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the engagement, and so each year we have a different engagement. We look at a different aspect of our life, all of us, facilitators and participants, and we generate that out of the annual event, spaces that we covered in the annual event. And so again, this one is: when I allow space, become present to who I am. And so
Mm-hmm.
as we look at that, there's
Mm-hmm.
three eyes in there, and you look at yourself. Um, you, there's something about allowing space, uh,
Mm-hmm.
allowing space, or allowance of people's opinions, concerns, things that they're up to,
Mm-hmm.
not being judgmental, but allowing them to be who they are fully.
Mm-hmm.
So when I can allow space, I become present. Again,
Mm-hmm.
remember I was talking about being present. I become present to who I am, and the who I am is really for me inside of God, inside of who God created as a possibility, as
Mm-hmm.
a unlimited resource or access to anything and everything on the planet and in the universe. So for me, that's a very exciting place to be. Um, and so again, that's my conversation. Now, you may hear something different for yourself, which is fine,
Mm-hmm.
and that is to be included. So it's not what I think, but I get to be with myself around that particular question, and
Yeah.
the things that I learned inside of the International Black Summit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let me ask you a question, brother. I know that y'all do members and they put the announce the members in International Black Summit. I want to know, am I still on the list, man? I'm part of the
Yeah,
member.
of course you are, brother.
Oh, okay.
Listen. This is not like some private party or whatever.
Right.
This is you've done the summit, and once you've done the annual event, the prerequisite and annual event, you can come to any summit event that you want.
Mm-hmm.
We have the leadership body meetings that we have from time to time. Make sure I have your email. I'll make sure that whatever your new email is, I'll make sure that you get all that information.
Yeah,
So we have,
because you know what I'm asking. Well, I might have to talk to you offline because, like
right,
I said, they don't know the really language, and that's so I got show some respect of the conversation.
right.
I'm really for the last. I meant to tell you this in 2019. I'm really seriously really thinking about becoming a facilitator. I mean, I've been a facilitator, but you know what I mean.
Go through the training. Yeah,
The training and stuff because I think that you know. Now I really think about that,
yeah, yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah. We'll come. We have October of every year is when people declare themselves for the next year. So
Okay.
so you can come on through, brother. You know, you know how it goes. It's
I
about.
really do because I've been thinking about it for years. I
Hmm.
feel like there's some unfinished business. I'm talking for myself of being facilitator, but
Right.
because people don't understand. being facilitator is big. It's a big deal to me.
Yeah.
I have to be a facilitator.
Mm-hmm.
There's no ifs and buts about it. I did the work.
Yep.
I did the training and stuff. So now, but it was a constant. But see, understand this though too. Being a facilitator, it's constant training. It's constant counsel.
Yeah.
See with Glen and Circasia, they ain't to like Leonard them. They ain't to a stream. Woo, that's totally extreme.
Yeah.
Woo, trust me, I'd be like this. Now you get it. But I want to be. That's one of my goals in International Black Summit. I want to be a facilitator. I feel that I still got more to give in this conversation.
Well, that's the beauty of the conversation is there's no lid on it. You just keep expanding, and then you get to utilize it in the community. See, that's now there's a so this you don't know about this. There's a new community course that they're generating.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's designed to go out in the community. They've done it a couple times, but it's specifically designed for the community. And then we're also looking at going after some government money and partnering with some not-for-profits in terms of training their staff inside of the distinctions of the International Black Summit in terms of being productive and efficient and moving things forward. So there are a couple of things, yeah.
Oh, so we still doing are we still doing shares on being facilitator and stuff?
Yes, facilitators still meet. There's some facilitators meet. There's a leadership council that are the heads of the different groups meet together to do some of the business, and then there's the leadership body meetings that are probably once every 2 or 3 months, a week, a Friday and a Saturday.
Now let me ask you this question before we continue, because I know you got about another 10 minutes, so we ain't gonna keep you on. What I will fall into?
What would you what?
What I will fall into when I come back to be a facilitator? Do I fall into the leadership, or would I have to fall in? I mean, what the necessary?
Well, you can attend the leadership council, your leadership body meetings already, because you're already qualified. You have the you did the summit annual event, so you're good for that.
Okay.
The facilitator body, we'd have to see if we can get you in this year or for next year.
Okay.
Because we've already done some training and so on and so forth. But that's not that's not a problem at all. And the leadership council is I'm the lead facilitator for the Sunday Summit Share. So I have a seat at the leadership council, and we're also reactivating parts of our board of directors. So we're doing some things with the board of directors as well. So we've got some changes that are happening. Since you've been gone.
Okay. But I'm this very seriously. I believe to talk to you. So I feel let me share it to some people. People don't understand, but it's a big deal to me. So I could stop. So I can go to the leadership. There's no problem.
Yeah, there's no problem with that at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions for me in the chat?
Let me see. Let me see. Then my FG said the folks from Chicago. That's all. That's your spoken of. But let me say this: it's not just Chicago. We globally. Right. This conversation is globally, brother. You know, you can go to www.internationalblacksummit.org. Am I right?
www.blacksummit.org.
Okay.
Blacksummit.org.
Okay.
And they can get more information. But yes, as Jerry said, we're worldwide. We've got folks in Kenya, South Africa, Ghana, Brazil. We've been to Brazil. Let's see, Anguilla,
Well, yes.
Belize. We've been to Belize. We've been to Toronto,
Yeah.
Ottawa, Canada,
I don't. Yeah.
in Canada. We've been to New York,
About twice, right? We've been there
Florida.
twice, right?
No, New York is we only did New York once in
That's a
1995.
95, right?
Right, that was in
That
90.
that's when they self generating International Black Summit.
Yeah,
1995.
it was huge. We had a big event there. We've been in Houston. We've been in Memphis. We've been in New Orleans about 3 or 4 times. We've been in Chicago about 3 times. Jamaica, West Indies, in Top Hill. Well, actually, we were in Jamaica twice. We were at a resort on Montego Bay, and then we were in the interior in Top Hill, St. Catherine, in Jamaica. We've been to, of course, L.A., Oakland, San Francisco. Let's see what else. You know, a lot of different places. So we're not just in America. We are truly international, and we have people international. We've got 3. I'll call it divisions for lack of a better word, but we've got the adult summit, we've got the youth summit, and we've got the young
Right.
event. And all of them happen the same time on the annual event. Our annual event is the first full weekend in August. So if August starts on a Saturday, that's not what we consider the full weekend. So it's got to be a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So whatever the first full weekend in August is when we have the Summit Annual event. That's a yearly event. There is a cost to attend that particular event, but most of the other functions, the prerequisite, there's a cost for that. You can have a prerequisite in your city,
Right.
You know, for the fee is $100 for that, and you have a full day introduction to the distinctions and authentic listening.
Right. And so go what Brother Glen was saying, that you gotta request it. So that means you gotta find a place for yourself. You know, especially like if it's going to be reservation, so you got to find out how long the conversation is going to be, and then also like you're gonna bring the phone, so so make sure you got to check it out yourself. Make sure they had plugins. Make sure if you're gonna be there for a while to have food there and everything, because this conversation involves of everything.
This is not just a half an hour event, a couple hours.
No, it's not. This is all day.
We are there until we're complete for the day.
Right.
And so that's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday till about 3. And right now, last year, what we did is normally we have the prerequisite on Thursday and then start the annual event on Friday. But last year we combined the prerequisite inside of the adult summit, and so we look at that from year to year to see if we're going to do that. And right now we're looking at possibly a blended summit, so maybe virtual with maybe satellite locations, or actually have a city that we declare is the host city. So we've got so we're still deciding, trying to deal with COVID like everybody else inside the pandemic, to see how we operate. But we have engaging conversations, and the summit Sunday shares are again pretty powerful as well. So
it really is.
Yeah.
And also Glen at one time, I don't know, you still have it. Glen at one time was one of the extreme, not gonna say extreme. He was one of the facilitators of the Young Summit.
Yes.
He was one of the main ones.
Yeah,
he was one of the main ones of the Young Summit. That I'm talking about the time when I in it. So I mean, I'm still in it now. I'm talking about in the space. So he was one of the main ones that because he was
Eight,
also facilitating the young people conversation of the summer,
right, and that's from 8 to 17.
8 to 7 p.m. Right. Mm-hmm.
So that's the age group, and then the young adult summit is from 18 to 35. So you have a choice. You can be part of the young adult summit, or you can be part of the adult summit. Of course, the age is
Mm-hmm.
unlimited, but
Yeah.
18 plus in the
Right.
adult summit as well. So you can choose
Yeah.
because sometimes you might want to be with some younger folks.
Right. Exactly. But as for me, why my space was different, right? Because when you go to prerequisite, um, you could pick wherever space that you want to be. But what mine is different because I was already in the conversation. I was already part of the team, internet team. I was already participating in in the conversation. So when I was in these classes here, it was certain stuff that Glenn and Henrietta and them had taught me, had to teach me. They need to teach me because I already knew. So it was at times that when Henrietta was we was talking about, like, when he was talking about, when Glenn was like talking about different variations of the conversation. It was like this that Glenn he to come. He said, "Oh, Jerry already know that. How do you know?" Part of the team, and it was at times that I had to break down different variations so the people would get it. So, so for me, I was taught, but I was showing others too. But
Yep, yep.
but at the same time, for me, I had to get something out of it. So I was into I was into the conversation, but at the same time, a part of prerequisite, I become a better facilitator. So to participate of that part of the conversation. So my space was different. See, I had to wear, like, instead of people they wear one hat of the prerequisite, I was wearing two hats.
Yep, that's right.
And let me tell y'all, it's not easy.
Yeah, but you were committed.
Yeah,
That's
right.
that's the big thing. See,
Mhm.
it may not be easy, but you can get through it with the right commitment.
Right.
You can get
So
through with the right commitment.
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. We just going based on that. Brother, you did anything you want to ask? Hold on, y'all. I'll be right. Go, keep on talking, brother. I'll be right back.
Okay, all right. Well, if you all need to get a hold of me, y'all can hit me up at 929-330-4281. And let me give you my email. It's GLENNGRENIDGELICRE services@gmail.com. And I'll put that in the chat. Now, will they be able to see the chat, Jerry?
I said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You put something in the chat, in the main chat.
It says private chat. So can I
No,
put?
not the private chat.
Oh, okay. I see it now.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Let's see comments. Oh, I could see it exactly. I could see some of the people. Let me try and figure out how to get the stuff in there.
Yeah, you see the people in there that's gonna say Cub publicity as whoever it is. So post a comment. Say there's a post a comment. So.
Yeah, I don't see it. I see the chat, but I don't see posted comments.
Go down.
Yeah, it's my first time inside of this piece. I'll have to send. I'll have to send you the information, Jerry.
Yeah, just send me the information and I push it up. And then I show you the next time, you know.
Right.
Because
Okay.
do you have a YouTube account?
Black Summit does have a YouTube, and our power out actually our world media network is the radio show, and they have a YouTube channel as well. But the International Black Summit has a YouTube channel.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, brother.
All right, thank you. So your last remarks, please.
Um, you can't empower anybody if you're not empowered yourself. So we start there. Empower yourself, and the other people around you will be empowered. Peace and blessings.
Peace and bless. Thank you, brother. And give me send the message. I mean, send the links because I most likely I probably want to join that tonight, but it's gonna be a little late. I'll probably pick like how long y'all be on? How long the share be on anyway?
7 to 9 is
7 to 9.
the official, and then you can stay on after that. We kind of chop it up after that.
Okay, yeah, just send me the message because I might have to do MMA tonight.
Okay.
And so that'd be like a little out. So I can get on. I can get on a little after 8. There's no problem. Just send me them. Just send me the links.
I'll send you, brother.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Love you.
Love you, brother.
Thank you. Appreciate
Keep
that.
out.
Peace. Peace. So yeah, finally find out brother Greenidge. Well, the links that he gonna send me, I will send it out in the near future. And I also I forgot to tell him. I'm gonna have the International Black Summit panel. So watch out for that too. That's gonna be soon. Now I know they busy, so y'all gonna really hear that. So I'm gonna bring you something nice with y'all and everything. So thank y'all very much. Appreciate. Let me cut this off. But thank y'all for participating in this today. I really appreciate it. I love y'all. And just remember, let's be good to each other. Oh yeah. If you travel to your destination or home, if you're single, live alone, with your friends and I'm just messing with you. But take extra safety precaution to protect yourself because the climate out there is no joke. We don't want nothing to happen to y'all. MMA might come later on. I don't know yet. I gotta call the brothers up and see what's up. And then whatever links that I have, I will pass to give them out and everything. Okay. So love y'all. Thank y'all. This is the ending of the chop up with my brother Glen Greenidge and everything. That's my rag. Excuse me, that's my rag.
No.
Oh, it's not.
It's from my throat.
Oh, it is. Cause I had a rag just like that.
No.
I do. I have a rag just like that. That color. Yeah. So thank y'all. I might do MMA. But thank y'all. Love y'all. Stay blessed, stay blessed, stay blessed. Have a good day. Stay blessed, stay blessed, stay blessed. Blessings to everybody. This one is Ghost. Peace.